UK girl the concluding part of the treachery game.
What's the problem, Hannam?
Okay, but you're not going to like this. A few hours ago, one of our people, a biochemist, Harry Aird, went for a morning swim in your area. Like yourself, he was on holiday. His body was fished out with a couple of bullet holes in it. Your car was found near the spot, and your fingerprints were found on a cartridge case.
Look, you have been, how you'd say, set up, put in the frame.
We must know if Aird took anything with him to France. Papers, experimental notes, and so on.
If I'm arrested, they'll know exactly where I am.
Who's they?
I don't know, but I'm not going to be a sitting target for anybody.
58 pages of research are missing. There's every reason to believe Aird took them with him when he went to France.
Then we will have to find them, won't we? Find Dale and those missing pages. No one else must get them.
Did you employ Mark Fraser to kill Aird?
We did not kill Aird. We did not employ anyone to kill Aird. Please to inform Sir James Mackiason of that fact. Also, to assist you, I would say that I do not believe Fraser killed Aird.
Frank Lloyd has had an encounter with a KGB agent. So tell your people in New York we now definitely have the Reds in the game.
I never betrayed you, my friend. Never you. No treachery to one's friends.
Don't move. She killed Aird, and she'll kill you too if I give the word. Now, we're all going for a little drive. Try to run, and I'll trigger Eva. She'll fire.
You killed Dale too?
Don't be stupid. We've got him safely tucked away. We need Dr. Dale.
Unsentimental lady, isn't she?
Well, she's perfect. Takes a lot of loving care to keep her that way.
Just hold it there, please.
Eva, behind you!
You all right? They don't think there's much hope.
Thank God the gendarmes weren't around when it happened. I told them I was the victim of an attempted armed robbery. Showed them some diplomatic bump. Very impressed they were. What about her friend?
He got away. Glad you turned up, Frank.
I got here earlier. Saw that fellow sign in as Dale. I'd seen photos of Dale in Edinburgh. Amazingly dissimilar types. I'm keeping an eye on him, and you two turn up.
And you become the 7th Cavalry and save our lives.
Well, I'm not at all sure I should have. We have to talk.
I'm available.
I've got to go to the police judiciary now to pull every diplomatic string I know. You wait at the hotel for me.
If you say so.
Can I have the gun, please? As soon as I clear this up and trace Aird's papers, I'll come to you.
Yes, of course. Aird's papers.
Mrs. Aird insists he sent them to Dale here in Hull. Now, I've checked the hotel. They weren't received there, so our imposter hasn't got them. Oh, and you understand, Mark? No tricks, no disappearing. Your best chance of getting out of this is to do exactly as I tell you.
I wouldn't dream of doing anything else, old man.
That girl. She couldn't live long with wounds like that.
No.
Do you care? I mean, not just about the girl, but about Jules, your friend. Do you really care?
I thought you knew me.
So did I.
I cared very much about you. The girl. Sense of waste, yes. But I can't feel any more. Jules knew he was dying. He also knew I had to be concerned about the living, about us.
All right, I accept that. But now Frank Lloyd can carry on. It's his job.
Not yet.
Why?
I'm still suspect.
The girl killed Ed.
May very well be dead herself by now. That character who was with her, I've been trying to remember exactly what he said. Something about triggering her off.
The way he talked, that's all.
No, more than that. I have to go out for a while. I won't be long.
Tell me where you're going.
I have to get hold of those papers.
But they haven't turned up. Frank told you that.
Frank may be looking in the wrong place.
Est-ce qu'il y a une lettre pour moi? Mon nom est Harold Ed.
Vos papiers d'identité, s'il vous plaît.
Ah, j'ai oublié mon passeport à l'hôtel. Vous pouvez vérifier si vous voulez. Sinon, j'ai mon permis de conduire.
Merci bien.
She wants to see you.
Funny, I had a feeling someone would join me pretty soon. Nice spot for a funeral, Colonel.
Search him.
I knew what you were looking for.
No more games, Mr. Fraser. You know we are looking for Dr. Aird's papers.
Sorry, can't help.
We've had a man within earshot of Mr. Lloyd ever since he left me. At the hotel, he asked for letters to Dr. Dale, but there were none. Mr. Fraser, I have helped you in the past.
You could say that.
Yet now you come to ours looking for Dr. Dale.
Unsuccessfully. Dale never reached Arles.
We know this, Mr. Fraser, we know this.
Apparently, Aird's correspondence didn't arrive either.
Yes, but you were at the post office.
Obviously, they weren't very helpful. You've just searched me.
Very well. Tomorrow morning, take your wife and go. Go anywhere. I've ceased to be concerned. But if you still involve yourself in this matter, you will find that not only is Mr. Martens of the CIA trying to kill you, but I also. And I'm usually quite successful in these things, Mr. Fraser.
Look here, Mark. I told you to wait here for me.
Frank, it was the CIA that set me up.
How have you come to that conclusion?
Eva's friend's called Martens, and he's a CIA man. Don't ask me how I know, but it's a fact.
Why would the CIA kill Aird? Aird worked for Transatlantic Chemicals, and Transatlantic Chemicals are backed by the CIA.
Oh, you work it out. One of their own men working on their own top secret research, and I'm conveniently in the district to be framed. Too neat.
Nobody said anything about the girl. Is she alive or dead?
She's dead, I'm afraid. First time I've ever shot anybody.
Did she say anything before she died?
Not much. Kept muttering some oriental gibberish. Doctor reckoned she could have been drugged, but there were no traces, not yet anyway. They're doing an autopsy, of course.
Frank, you must get Jill and me back to London tomorrow morning. Please. Pull strings, lay on a plane.
For God's sake, you must be joking. We just had one very difficult session with the French authorities.
Would you rather we were arrested?
No.
Because you know damn well I'd never be released alive, right? Mackerson would cheerfully have me eliminated.
He believes you murdered Aird.
And you know I didn't.
I'm not in the least sure about that.
He didn't kill anybody.
Look, I never could quite believe it was your style, but that's not the point. I can't smuggle you out of France. Michelson wouldn't buy it.
Even if I'm the only one who knows where Aird's papers are. Who else would put us up without any luggage? We used this place in the old days to put up defecting Russians. Small fry, mostly.
Must have been midgets.
One night only, then Scotland. And not home. Not yet. Look, I wonder if you could get a quick cleaning job done on those clothes.
What are you going to do?
I have to make a phone call, then see somebody.
Mark? Where the hell are you?
It's all right, I'm in London too. Look, I need your help. Do you still have that cottage near Glasgow? Good. I'd like to borrow it for a few days.
There's a key held at the village shop. I'll tell them to expect you. But for God's sake, Mark, you're still on the run.
I'm taking care of that. In an hour or two, I should be completely exonerated. I promise you.
Yes?
This is the home of Sir James Mackerson.
So?
I'd like to see him.
Sir James never sees anyone without an appointment.
He'll see me. Where did Sir James find you lot? Your predecessor was blown up in Spain. Did you know that? Now take your time and tell me where Sir James is.
Go to hell.
I've been there. You wouldn't like it. Now tell me where he is, or I'll have to hurt you again.
He forced his way in. I couldn't stop him.
Of course you couldn't. Now go away, George, and do something useful. I have nothing to fear from Mr. Fraser. I've been expecting you. Have you come to give yourself up?
Sorry, no. I was quite neatly framed, but I'm out of it now.
I wouldn't be too sure of that. The Americans are still insisting that you killed Aird. They want your guts.
And you like the idea?
It appeals. Oh, it appeals. It will make everything so tidy.
You're going to be disappointed.
My dear boy, you're in no position...
You forget I'm the only person who knows where to lay their hands on Aird's papers.
All right. You have the papers.
And you want them.
What do you want?
I didn't kill Aird.
Deep down, I never quite believed that you did.
It has to be official. Aird was killed by a girl under the control of a CIA agent called Martens.
Question. Why should the CIA...
kill a scientist who was working for them? Well, Aird's widow says that he hated the work he was doing. Also, the Russians believe that he was vulnerable enough to contact.
Moscow Center believes everyone's vulnerable.
Yes, but he didn't encourage them. So what was he playing at? I believe that he was thinking of making his work public.
The CIA wouldn't like that.
Exactly. Ed was going to meet his partner Dale in Arles, talk things over and then make his move. Whatever that was, the CIA picked up Dale and killed Ed.
I might buy that. But what was Ed doing that he found so unpleasant?
That'll be in his papers. But first I have to find Dale.
We must find Dale.
I have the papers. We'll do it my way.
Very well. What do you want of me?
Martins let it slip that Dale never left Edinburgh. I need to find out if the CIA have a safe house nearby.
CIA? Not at all sure I'll be able to...
Ed was a British subject. CIA killed him. Exert pressure. Create hell. You're good at that.
All right, I'll make the necessary noises. But Fraser, you are now doing our work for us. Why? That is a Lucasti Lucantha, and I would very much rather you didn't handle it. It's all settled. You have the full authority of the minister himself. I'm very impressed.
I don't think I'll take it as a compliment. Now, I'll meet one of your men the day after tomorrow in Scotland, Frank Lloyd. 9 o'clock in the morning, off the Drimmen Road, a place called the Devil's Pulpit. Give Frank all the information you have on the safe house, and I'll take it from there.
And you will give Lloyd Aird's papers?
Perhaps.
We're not doing all this for nothing. I must have some guarantee.
Is there ever any? Play this straight, Mackerson, and you'll come out of it smelling of... Rare, is it?
Comparatively.
My wife will appreciate this. A gesture for all she's been through. Jill? Jill?
I'm all right.
They had American accents. They were quite polite, I found. They gave me a message for you.
Sit down.
Will you listen? They said there was no need to kill you now. The business in France was finished. Only if you had the papers would they have to take action.
They're not sure, then?
Mark, do you understand? We can be free of this whole business. Are those Ed's papers?
Yes.
You should burn them.
At least I know what it's about now.
Do you want to tell me about it?
Yes. In 1977, the United States Congress passed the Freedom of Information Act, which gave the American press access to the CIA's secret files. They uncovered a big research program involving the use of drugs, psychics, hypnosis, psychology, ultrasonics, a lot.
But what for?
Mind control. When the news came out in America, all hell broke loose. So they quietly shifted the whole operation over here. Some of their agents had already volunteered to be guinea pigs. They started off with injections of hallucinogenics, a derivative of psilocybin. Over and over again, for days, weeks. Controlled conditioning, turning her into an automaton.
Moving into a different frequency now.
Beta rhythms indicating growing tension and anxiety. Pulse rate up.
The drug should start taking effect, pulling her back down.
Back to the alpha frequency now.
Stand by to feed in abstract images, and then the control words.
Subject approaching prolonged alpha activity.
Now.
didn't last. Depending upon the strength of the individual's mind, it either recovers, comes back to normality, or goes the other way, blanks out. Apparently, sometimes for good.
Om mani padme hum.
Aird and Doyle set out to refine the process to ensure that the conditioning was permanent. That's what they were working on.
And Aird couldn't go on?
He couldn't go on because he'd succeeded. I don't understand the formula, but it's in there. That's when he decided to blow the whole thing wide open. And that's why they killed him. And, of course, why they want these papers so badly.
The Russians want them. And Sir James Mackinson wants them. You're almost enjoying it.
Alec Marsh used to keep a couple of shotguns in that cupboard. For the grouse season. Now, we're perfectly safe, but I do have to be away for a couple of hours in the morning. So you know where they are, in case the season starts early.
So, while you are shooting up the CIA, Fraser secures the papers. And he's caused us no end of trouble. Anglo-American relations haven't been in such a bad way since the days of Fuchs and Pontecorvo.
You can hardly blame Fraser for that, since he was innocent.
It would have been a damn sight more convenient if he were guilty.
Nothing actually through communications to confirm he is innocent.
I blame the CIA. Their operation, and a pretty nasty one at that.
I'm not interested in whom you blame. The Prime Minister, no less, insists that Anglo-American relations are no further damaged.
Even by the Americans?
Don't be clever, Lloyd. You'll need your energy. You have a very long journey tonight. You're to meet Fraser tomorrow morning. A place off the Drimmen Road called the Devil's Pulpit, which seems very apt. 9 o'clock. You will convey to him some information which I will give you. And you, in return, will make quite sure he hands you Ed's papers.
And then what? I hand them over to Alec here. To keep Anglo-American relations happy, Transatlantic Chemicals get their property back.
That would certainly solve a lot of problems.
Yes, you will hand them back eventually, of course. After we've ascertained that they're genuine.
I don't think I should know about that. After all, I am employed by Transatlantic.
You are, before that, a citizen of the United Kingdom. You will simply wait at Transatlantic's office in Edinburgh until we get in touch with you. Do you understand? Teddy here will get in touch with you personally on my behalf.
In Edinburgh, is that?
Since that's where he'll be, yes. Well, gentlemen, I have a meeting at the American Embassy in half an hour, at which I fancy both sides will indulge in a little pacification. That will be all, gentlemen. Wait a moment, Lloyd, will you?
Yes, of course.
Fraser seems to think that you did rather well in France.
I did my best.
Fraser's opinion is of no value. The trouble with you, Lloyd, is that you're not a Cambridge man.
Unlike Burgess and McLean and Philby.
Give that to Fraser and get those papers from him before the CIA does.
You nearly gave me a heart attack.
That would have saved a bullet. You have something for me?
The autopsy on the girl? Nothing.
No, there wouldn't be. But you have something from Mackerson for me.
No known CIA safe house in Scotland.
Frank, don't play games.
It's an outside chance only.
Give Sir James my thanks.
You're forgetting something.
You don't think I'd bring Ed's notes here?
Mackerson said...
Well, he must have known one or both of us would be followed. Although, actually, they were here first.
Who?
KGB, CIA, who knows?
And you pick a place like this? Good God, man, we're bottled up tight as tinned sardines.
I chose the place to see if they'd get here first, and they did.
I can't see a damn thing.
You will. Give them time. Cigarette?
Well, actually, I've given them up. Imminent demise wonderfully concentrates the mind. Somebody said that.
Dr. Johnson?
Well, if he did, it's not true. My mind's in a chaotic state. Is that the only way out?
Not quite. Two others. Downstream and upstream.
Oh, yes, I suppose so. Wet feet. Wet feet.
I told you they'd get impatient. You downstream. There's a good overhang.
You?
The other way.
Just let go the rifle, very slowly, and stand up. Now, we'll see if you've any kind of identification. Very slowly, please.
Jill, it's me. Just got to take off these leaky boots.
Good morning, Mr. Fraser. I regret the disarray.
You all right, darling?
They just barged in.
Of course, we did not harm Mrs. Fraser.
I did exactly as you told me. I came home. And yet, Colonel, I can't seem to get rid of you.
Ah. You collected Ed's package from the post restaurant.
I certainly didn't have it when Milo picked me up.
Because you had already posted it back to yourself again.
Did you expect me not to lie?
The entire fabric of East-West relations is based upon lying. Without the lies, we'd have been at war long ago.
The politicians would never admit that.
Politicians. Our so-called masters, slaves to us in the end, trembling with the implications of any new fragment of intelligence we might give them.
As in Whitehall, so in the Kremlin.
Exactly. Now, Dr. Ed's papers, please. I cannot afford to be friendly to you any longer, Fraser. I did warn you. It would be a great shame, of course, especially as I have done so much in the past to protect Mrs. Fraser's life. But unless you hand over the papers, we shall kill her.
I always knew that deep down you're just another cold-blooded bastard.
Exactly. You know, you still suffer from an old disease, Fraser. Trust. You trust a man such as Jules. You trusted him, yet all the time he was working for us.
I notice you always use the hired help. I don't think you've the stomach for it.
I will grow too old listening to this. You will please tell us where the papers are.
And if I don't? If I attempt a small assault on Boris here, what would you do?
Of course, we would not be so foolish as to kill you. However, one painful wound after another, and you...
Please give the gun to my husband.
Do nothing. Very, very adroit. Husband talks, the wife acts. Sergei, take that gun from her.
Any closer and I'll fire.
Pay attention, Grigor. Unlike the husband, the wife never lies.
The careful English country gentleman who owns this house would not be so foolish as to put away fully loaded guns.
But then I'm Scots and no gentleman.
And since I've arrived here, your wife has had no chance to load them.
I loaded the gun after Mark left this morning.
You are bluffing, Mrs. Fraser. Sergei, take that gun from her.
It's quite a gamble, Sergei. Is it or isn't it loaded? Could make a terrible mess.
Sergei, take the gun from the woman.
Come on, take my hand. Colonel?
How did you know I'd loaded the gun?
I didn't until you shut your eyes. Just before you fired.
Where are we going? Is it a hospital?
A private nursing home for over-energetic Americans. Well, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah?
I'm looking for Dr. Dale, Peter Dale.
I'm sorry, the doctors have all gone.
This doctor's a patient.
Dale. We don't have any patient of that name.
Who's in charge?
I'm the matron, Mr. Fraser. And I assure you, our only patients just now are 2 American naval officers and a consular official. Fortunately, none of them is seriously ill.
Perhaps we can visit a while, as they would say.
Only family and friends may visit patients. Mr. Fraser, I don't think you believe what I'm telling you.
I don't seem to have much choice. Thank you for your time. This gentleman is one of your staff?
Mr. Tolliver is one of our nursing staff.
The last time we met was in Zurich, 1975, I think. Against the wall. Your name wasn't Tolliver then, but you were working for the CIA.
Oh. Don't move.
Mark, this one's locked.
Stand back. Dr. Dale? Peter Dale?
Is he dead?
No, he's not dead. Now slide it across the floor. Slowly. Thank you, Mr. Fraser. Dr. Dale is under treatment.
So I see. The same treatment you gave to Eva.
You have to understand, Mrs. Fraser. When Aird took those papers, we had to find out how far he and Dale had got in perfecting the new process. Dale wouldn't tell us.
So you tried an earlier treatment?
He was working on the girl until you... But him blew his mind. Does that with some subjects.
He isn't a subject. He's a human being.
Yeah. Yes, Mrs. Fraser. But Aird was the real brains. We reckoned he'd made the breakthrough, got it right.
But you killed Aird.
He went crazy. Was going to shout it from the rooftops. Tell the press. More headlines about dirty tricks from the CIA. We had to take him out.
And Lecky? The lab assistant?
That was unfortunate. Right. We need Aird's papers, Mr. Fraser. We know you still got them. You're going to hand them over to the other guy this morning.
Oh, it was you. How did you know we'd be there?
Does it matter? You got away. He's got some reactions left. He may pull through. He's even aware that I was responsible. That's a good sign. Still...
I'm getting tired of people pointing guns at me.
Aird's notes.
And this time there isn't a shotgun anywhere, darling.
Those papers are the property of the CIA.
Well, you don't think I'd bring them here with me, do you?
All right. But I want to know where they are.
Oh, killing me won't get you them. And if I told you, I may be lying.
In which case, your wife can tag along with me. Yeah. That will be the way to handle that.
Yes. But it's all taking its toll, isn't it, Martens? The killings, the pressure. You're beginning to feel the strain. Oh, I've seen it all before. Agents too long in the field.
Shut up, Fraser! Okay. Stop wasting time. Help.
Help me. Help me.
Help him, Mac.
I suppose I'll have to. You're late.
You expected me to turn up, didn't you?
I was pretty sure Mackerson wouldn't give me the address of the CIA's safe house and let me walk in alone, despite what I told him. I was a little worried, though.
Can't think why.
Somebody fell into the devil's pulpit. It could have been you. Then I really would have been alone.
One of Martin's snipers, he slipped.
You are improving, Frank. Mackerson will have to look to his job.
Don't knock the old boy. He went out on a limb with the Yanks, tore a strip off the CIA in front of the ambassador himself. Mr. Martens will go back to Langley, Virginia, under a very dark cloud.
Fine. Can we go now?
Not yet, old man.
I know Mackerson wants Aird's notes.
Of course.
Everybody wants Aird's notes. Transatlantic Chemicals office in Edinburgh, say about 4 o'clock? Why here, Alec? Why not at your office?
Mackerson's come up from London to join Lloyd in my office in an hour. A Burns manuscript. All that stuff about freedom and equality. A man's a man for all that. He never did get it right. What exactly do you want, Mark?
It wasn't really a coincidence when Jill and I took that house in France. You recommended the people that rented it to us.
Of course, we're friends. You're not really implying that I set you up. But after all, how could I know that Aird was going to the Chateau Palignac?
You were the security officer. You knew he went there every year. And you were a good security officer. I think you knew he was considering talking to the French press.
It was my job to know things like that.
And we couldn't rent the house in France on the exact dates we wanted. We were told it was unavailable.
Mark, I phoned to warn you what was going to happen.
You phoned to get me on the run so that Martens could kill me and hide the body.
Stuffy here. Let's get some air.
When did you join the CIA?
I could hardly be a security officer for Transatlantic Chemicals and not be in the CIA. Mind you, they didn't trust me. I was an ex-British intelligence man, so I was pretty low in their ranks.
You worked for Martens?
He's my control.
He was your control. Why the CIA, Alec? I thought you were like me. Wanted to get out of the game.
You could afford it. I couldn't. Money buys freedom. I needed money. CIA pays well.
What is the price of treachery? Was there a bonus when I told Mackerson to let you know I was meeting Lloyd at the Devil's Pulpit?
You knew then?
I was certain when Martens put his snipers there.
Does Mackerson know?
If he doesn't know already, I'm sure he'll pretty soon work it out. Just as Lloyd will work out who killed Aird's lab assistant.
I didn't like that. I was just taking orders. Mark, once I was in, I had to take orders.
That's the Nuremberg defense, isn't it? Just obeying orders. Well, it won't work, even with the CIA.
Sorry?
You needed even more money. You had to play both ends against the middle. How did Colonel Grigor know I was staying in your cottage? The Russians pay well, too. You're a rogue elephant, Alec. You'd work for the devil to get a cooler place in hell.
I suppose I would. I can't help it. Result of a deprived childhood. Puts me in bad with everybody, doesn't it? CIA, Russians, Mackerson. But until they work it out, I can still buy a little more time.
I doubt it. Your credit's run out.
He told me you would be here.
He never missed an opportunity.
You knew he would try and put you over the wall.
It was his choice. I just stepped out of the way.
There you go now, Colonel. You'll get nothing from me, and the police will be here shortly.
And the papers?
Are beyond you now.
Why'd we come back here?
The last move in the game. Aird's notes. Edgar Allan Poe. The purloined letter. If you want to hide something, leave it in full view where a number of similar objects may be seen.
You're too clever for your own good.
I know. That's why I wanted to light a fire. Well, you said so yourself. They should be burnt. Well, let's not waste time. I'm pretty sure Frank and Sir James are following us.
That's it there. There's someone there, there's smoke coming out of the chimney.
That was the last in the series of The Treachery Game. Next week at 11:10, you can see Carrot's commercial breakdown.